How's it going, everybody? It's the CDHWarrior coming at you with another episode of How to Stream Made Easy. So, let's roll the title. So today we are going to be showing the PlayStation 2. And the question is, can you stream and record off of it? The answer is, yes you can. It works a lot like the PS3. It's a different generation, but it works very much the same way as the PS2. It's more the GameCube generation, which you saw me stream off of a couple of weeks ago. So I wanted to take today and show you that it is A, possible to stream off a PS2, and B, a lot easier than you would think. So it works the same way as the PS3. So our cording is very simple. We have the AV cord right here connected to the back of our PS2. Connected to we've got our power supply connected. It is then connected up into an AV to HDMI converter. The AV to HDMI converter is then run through an HDMI around and into our capture card. I'm beginning to believe I have way too many consoles, but we'll get to that in a different video. So I have just about every console known to man, minus some super retro stuff, like a lot of old Sega consoles. Although I am kind of going after those, but you can't find the games for them anymore. So that makes it a little bit more challenging. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you just how simple it is. So, this is only going to be about 10 minutes. It's amazing because I've normally got most of the other consoles I've had that I've streamed off of have been super complicated and 8 or 10 different steps to use them. Like the GameCube or even the NES. Or the Wii U for that matter. It's one... I will show the Nintendo Wii. I keep putting this console off just because there's so much involved in it. But we will get to it as kind of one of our last videos. Kind of our big finale. If you have any other consoles you want to see streamed off of, let me know down in the comments below, and I will try and teach you how to stream off them. But most people know, I believe this is a PS2 Slim. This is not an original PS2. The original PS2 was a little bit bigger, but this is a PS2 Slim. And we have some minor things that we're missing. We don't have the memory cards. To be honest, that's irrelevant. I will go ahead and state that you do need a memory card if you plan on playing it for long, extended periods of time. But otherwise, they're not relevant. Kind of like it's with the GameCube generation, so it needed a memory. They needed memory cards also. Let's see, what was in the PS2 generation? Okay. First generation was things like um, the Magnavox Odyssey and the Atari Pong and the Coleco Telestar series. Then the second generation was 76 to 92. Uh, the Fairchild Channel F, the Atari 2600, the Intellivision from Mattel, and the ColecoVision. Third generation was the NES, the Master System, and the Atari 7800. The fourth generation was the 16-bit generation. The TurboGrafx, which I have never even heard of, the Sega Genesis, Neo Geo, and the Super Nintendo, which most people probably know the Super Nintendo. The fifth generation was where everything started going to discs. Uh, the Saturn, the original PlayStation, the PS1, and the Nintendo 64. The 64 was a cartridge base. I have it sitting in front of me. And we've shown 2 or 3 different videos on how to stream off of it, so we won't try and retouch that one. The PS2 was 6th generation, along with the Dreamcast, the GameCube, the Xbox, and included the PS2. This is also where internet connectivity started. After that, the 7th gen, most people know the 360, the Nintendo Wii, and the PS3. That's where we started going from AV connectors to HDMI. The Wii U, the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Switch were all the same generation. That was 8th generation. And then in 2020, we hit the 9th generation with the PS5. Most of that is digital distribution. I'd say pretty soon we're going to see the end of the game cartridges. I'd say Nintendo will still probably hang on to cartridges just for a little bit, just because they're Nintendo. But in general, I think we're seeing the death of game cartridges. Because they're now getting... Heck, the Nintendo Switch, the game cartridges are about the size of a micro SD card. Slightly larger than a micro SD card. No, they're slightly larger than a regular SD card. So they're slowly getting bigger. That doesn't mean it's all completely easy. So now that I've given you a whole lecture on the timeline of game consoles, let's go back to our PlayStation 2. So I have an original remote that came with mine. This is a DualShock 2. Back when you had the start and select buttons. And the analog button, which I doubt anyone even remembers what it was for. But anyway, let's get back to our showing how to stream them forward. So I'm going to show a little bit of this just to show you that it can be done. However, our game won't save per se because we don't have a memory card. Yes, this is still the generation where we had to have memory cards, like the Nintendo GameCube. You needed a memory card to make it work. That's not that big of a deal. Most of the memory and game cards are relatively easy to find. Most of them aren't proprietary anymore and work with just about any system. However, I don't have a memory card for either the GameCube or the PS2, so it's not going to work as well. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired. But without further ado, we've already discussed how everything's connected and connected back in. So let's turn this thing on and see what happens. Moment of truth. Does it record? And we have a picture on our PS2. And we have Spyro: A New Beginning put in this console. The Legend of Spyro. 2006? Now I'm curious. So we're going to go ahead and record some of this. Brought to you in Technicolor. And for those wanting to hear sound, I'll go ahead and remove my headphones. We're going to select a new game. Press the square button. It's interesting. The video doesn't look bad considering how old the console is. What? 2000, so considering 22 years ago when this console was made. When was the game made? And you all can see this game on my YouTube channel. A New Beginning. This game is from 2006. It was made for the Game Boy Advance, GameCube, PS2, and Xbox. This is the Legend of Spyro trilogy. Okay. A New Beginning, The Eternal Night, and Dawn of the Dragon. But we are slowly recording this. We're going to do about 10 minutes of recording just to show proof of concept with this. We're just going to record about 10 minutes of it and then... Okay, starring Elijah Wood as Spyro. I thought it was funny. It was Elijah Wood and David Spade. And Gary Oldman. Now, this part of the game won't save, just because there's no memory card. There's an interesting side to Spyro. Welcome to Sparks. Gotta remember that the analog sticks are backwards. So Sparks is voiced by David Spade. I think I just got myself trapped somehow. We're just going to start over again a little bit. Yeah, unfortunately, I had to start over again. Unfortunately, this is going to take a little bit longer to show the beginning, but I've got pretty much original remotes and everything, so I'm thinking Sparks is voiced by David Spade. Okay, we'll try again with this beginning part. But that gives you a general idea that you can stream off of PlayStation 2. I stream for an organization called CDH Stars and Angels. We're a 501c3 nonprofit that helps children with congenital diaphragmatic hernia. If you could, go check out our website at cdhstarsandangels.org or CDH Stars and Angels on Facebook. I'm going to kind of record a little bit longer. But for the most part, this episode is done. I will see you next week. Have a great day. If you all have a specific game you want to learn how to stream off of or want to try and stream off of a different console, let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can find it.